What's going on, YouTubes? Time for another recap. So, our group today, still looking for upside, downside. Doesn't matter which way it was. But you know what does matter? Algorithm targets. So, as we get into it, I did post one little play for a few people here. For any of the X followers, I said your final long target, this was the long end of the day, was at the golden pocket of the algorithm, just a smidge under 580. So I said 580.10 to 579.56. That was the end. And as it says on the drawing, final long target. After that, you watch for the short side. And on the bottom side of things, after she tore back down to the market, we finally filled the algorithm. So we've had these algos on here for months. We've called it months ago and said after the NVIDIA has the potential catalyst to dump the market, we will end up at 5736.75 to 5742.75. We've been talking about this level for quite some time. Excuse me. So all targets filled to the downside there. Just to repost, let's get into it. Let's see it. So for a while now, I've been watching YouTubers and interesting humans call the 200 SMA bounce and 200 EMA. We hit it. It's time to bounce. I have no idea what they're talking about because we're so far away from the EMA yet, and we're still hitting the SMA. So just so you guys know, we just finally came into the 200 SMA, which was our final target from 3.5 weeks, 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. We posted a whole live video on where we were coming down, right? And it was to the 200 after NVIDIA. So we got all of our targets. And I just want to note that coming into that 200, we still had a really big chance. It was either shying the 200s as we discussed in the last couple of videos or breaking down. And it was really easy, thank goodness, when we get this far down with fibs. So let's get into it. Just to tap on our first play there real quick. When this was my posted way before it happened to my chat, your final long, that's it. That's max resistance. Why did I think the market was topping at 580 today? And why did it top at 580? Well, between SPY and QQQ, we had this little precious algo on the 5-minute. And this guy was developed at 3 a.m. Central. If you don't know what 3 a.m. Central is, that is when every stock starts trading, opposite the ETFs. If you look on the QQQ, also giant algorithm directly at 3. That means we have two different algorithm candles, very awkward candles, telling us that we have a golden pocket rejection coming. So what does that look like on the intraday? Well, we'll go back to the SPY. We'll break her down a bit here. So the high-low Fibonacci of that 5-minute, we use golden pockets here on this channel all the time. So the press all the way up to 580, that was going to be our resistance, and that's why we called the final target long. And that's why I told my crew to hold on tight because we're going to head back up as long as we held the 100 fib, which obviously drawing an algo fib from that pre-market level, you would use these two right here, 582.39 to 577.81. And if that break up happened to hold, she went in, right? And you can see a couple other notes I made for my members and the trades that we look for. And this is what we do here in my premium chat. The link's in the description if you want to trade with us live. But I narrate and I put sentiment on for long and short. And I put all the trade plans on so we can follow along nicely for all of our trades. Now, support watch was developed right here off a 5-minute no GP. So anything above 576 here on high or low push was going to scream up to this golden pocket. Buy 10 SMA 5-minute, head further up to GP of pre-algo. Okay, that is me calling this long target into the 10. So interestingly enough, we got a shy than a tag. So let's zoom in real close because we talk about shying on this channel a lot. Buy the 10 SMA 5-minute to head further up to the GP. Look very close right here on these two candles. We did not hit the perfect 50, 580, 10. This is a shy. Notice right there. No candle, no hit. You can see that real good on the screen, I think. I hope so. Stretch it out a little more if you can't see it right there. And then when we said buy into the 10 SMA, which is our blue guy right here, price action shied away from the 50, right into the 10, and back up to actually hit the final long target, which was the zone of the GP right there. And triple topped it as we stayed under 580, which was a huge level for us. So that's why we made that little note for our group here. Now, if you're like me, this is a best case long entry. We'll talk about the other long that we had, short and long, that we had played too. And I was very adamant today, and I was yelling at everybody, said there's no support out of the gate at all. It is going to come down to 574.97. We had the 1618, which again, if you drew the pre-market algo we just talked about, the extension of the 1618 fib is down here at 574.97. So once we stay under the golden pocket, we break out of the range, right? Here's that low of that candle. That's the bottom of the range. We are going to head to the 1618. So once we lost that, we are going to come down and have a chance to complete the 1618 before we bounced. So I told everybody to wait for that dip buy. And wait, because we are coming for the third day almost to the 200 moving averages. Now, these big purple levels, 200 SMA right here, 200 EMA right here, and those are on the daily chart. We just have them coded into our 5-minute. So as that came into the best case long entry is what I labeled right here. That was the first part of the trade where we came down, hit the short target, best case long. You would enter here above the gold and final long target. So resulting in a full range move of what we were watching for the day of about 50 points on ES, which is what we trade. And then later on, we hit our final long and then did the full dump down to the 200 SMA. Now, note, we did not hit the EMA yet, but we did bounce the SMA. Now, it's getting a little static and choppy, which we've seen for 3 days now between trade war, tariff news, you name it. We've gotten some awkward pieces. And we're going to keep watching that hit for the 200 EMA, or we might bounce here. But again, we've stressed this the last 3 days. Nothing tends to go in a straight line. So the all-time high, slamming down in a straight line to the 200s. We should either crack a bit and then bounce, but we're still going to look for our famous long target of the 10 SMA. But how did we know of the over under? Well, let's go to another chart because I want to keep that on for some pictures here real quick. And what I'm going to do, not this one. I lied. There we go. So what we did was, this is today's candle that just closed, and this is yesterday's. So what I did was I took a Fibonacci high-low like I always do, all time frames, not if, but when these work out. And I said if it stays under the golden pocket, head down to the 200s, over the golden pocket, 10 SMA. That's really been the video for the last 3 days in a row here on YouTube. So we've been talking about that around the 200 where we're either going to press into the 2 or up to the 10. And we mentioned that, hey, if we travel down here a little bit into the 200s, it gives the 10 SMA time to catch up in action, right? So if that 10 SMA does catch up, maybe we go a little bit lower to that Friday. Remember, we got big data tomorrow, and that's going to be the fireworks, right? So over under this candle now is what the setup is for the prediction. So take your high-low again every day. Get that fib on. Go to your intraday. Under this GP, down to the 200 EMA. Over this GP. Hopeful bounce, maybe into next week pending data. We don't know if the trade war and down is, but we can only go off what the action shows us. Be reactive to the chart like always. So this is sentiment, right? It's not a guaranteed trade call where I say enter right here and you're guaranteed to make it. This is sentiment trading. We are confirmation day traders, okay? And we always wait for that confirmation. So when we see an over under like this for tomorrow planned, we go 575.15 over or under. Target down is EMA 200, target up is 10 on the bounce. But we did get to the 200s. Now let's see if we have a really slow open and it does this nonsense again. I'll assume that we're going to dip far past the 200 and then come slingshotting back maybe after the data is kind of junking around here, but it's all going to be based off tomorrow's data. So I will obviously do a recap for tomorrow, but I'll see my crew back on for the morning, and I'm going to do a little bit more detailed after the employment report. Okay, so that's going to be 7:30 a.m. Central. And what we're going to wait for is you're going to wait for 7:30 a.m. Central to hit, and it's going to make hopefully a large candle on the 5-minute chart. You're going to fib out that high and that low, and I'll post a picture of it on X in the morning here and show you what plays that we're going to play. So hopefully you guys made her through the day. We ended up with just under $5,000 on the Express account, so not a bad day for us. Now, when the bounce starts, and we're not calling it for tomorrow or whatever, blah, blah, blah. We're calling it for, did I do this one? I did not. We're calling it for when it comes, right? It's confirmation trading. We don't just guess. When it comes, and it might need another little down, doesn't matter. Whenever the uptrend produces itself on the Fibonacci high sequence, we are still going to target the 1-minute gaps that are way up here, okay? So when the bounce happens, either after the 200 EMA hits, or maybe we get a little capitulation. No, one more little scary wick. It scares everybody that doesn't understand this stuff. And then, oh my God, the last little bit of fear. And then the new candle comes up for the daily, chases down the 10 SMA daily, chases down those 1-minute gaps, because we have amazing targets to the upside right now as we're coming off the 200s, either with that employment report tomorrow or coming into next week. So if you want to watch me narrate this stuff live and do all of our trades live, we do that with the link in the description. You can come hang out with us live and watch the breakdowns and ask as many questions on these systems as you want. That's what we're here for, to teach. If you comment on any of the videos this week, Monday through Friday, I'm going to pick a random video that were released Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and I'm going to give away another Top Step account Saturday. So if you tune into the live and if you are present and you commented, you're into the raffle. All you got to do is leave a comment on this video or Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday. It's probably good practice to do them all because I'm going to pick a random day this week and give out the account on Saturday. Tune in for that. If not, we'll see you on the next YouTube video. Take care. Trade safe.